Hello. Okay, it's Avery. Hey, hi, how you doing? We're gonna be doing a makeup tutorial, I guess, again. But this is gonna be how I do my base. As you can tell, I have nothing on except for my lashes because I slept on them and all that jazz. Anyways, don't follow that. Always take your makeup off. I, however, just don't. I'm reckless. I live life on the edge. Anyways, so we're just gonna jump right into it. Here we freaking go. Okay, so at first we are starting with hyaluronic acid, which I used for my primer. This is just so my face is nice and hydrated because I do love to use a matte and a matte finish, and I feel like sometimes using matte products can dry your skin out. So the way to combat that is by using something very hydrating before you start. So we've got it in our hand. We're just gonna all over. Okay. Usually I do my lids, but since I have lashes on, we're just gonna skip that part because I'm gonna cover them in concealer anyways. I do have my neck. This is good for dry skin, like I said. It also helps, if you have wrinkles. Because the more dry your skin is, the more prone to wrinkling it's going to be. So if you use hyaluronic acid, it's going to be way better for helping fill in / moisturize your skin so it doesn't really get all creasy and gross. You know what I mean? Okay. Anyways, we're going to let that dry and then I'll be right back. Alright, so next we're going to go in with your foundation. The foundation that I am using is Milani Conceal and Perfect. I use this because it's full coverage and I have a beard and a mustache, so it helps cover that. Some of you may not need to go as heavy with your foundation. I, however, do. So that's where we're at. I put my concealer on pretty much any surface I can find, or my foundation on any surface I can find. Yes, that's disgusting. No, I don't care. And then we just go through and start globbing it on the face. Okay, now we're done with that. So I took it down my neck because, again, I get a 5 o'clock shadow because I grew up with face hair. But I did my whole face. I don't do my under bags and my eyelids because I do cover that with concealer, but we're not going to do that yet. Next, we're going to jump into contour. So this is the e.l.f. contour palette. I got it at Walmart. I don't remember how much it was because I buy all my makeup forever ago and use it until I can't use it anymore. Anyways, I'm going in with this cute little triangle sponge, different type of sponge. It's made for contour and it works really great because it's angled and all that jazz. Anyways, as you can tell, I usually use this color or this color, which we're kind of out of, but we're gonna go with this one because that one's way too dark. It will look super drag makeup-y, and that's not really the look that we're going for, so we're just gonna dig into that, and we're gonna start. You do it directly on the bottom of your cheekbone, which I learned not too long ago because I was putting it underneath. Doing that is too low. If you go up and at an angle, it's gonna give you that more snatched look. And we're gonna do the same down here. I personally get jowls, if you can't tell, right here and right here. And I just cover that up with a contour. Mind you, we are not setting any of this yet, so do not do that, because once you set and then try to put liquid over or cream over a powder, it is going to come out chalky and chunky and flaky, and we don't want that. So do not powder yet. You're not powdering in between steps. You're just going through and hollowing out your cheekbones. Next, they say you do up here. The way to remember how to do this is to do a 3. So technically it's whoop, whoop. And I mean, I guess you could whoop again, but then it would be something else and it would not be a 3, so I don't know. But that's where we're at. That's what we're doing, okay? You don't want it to be super muddy. Cream contours or liquid contours tend to work better, in my opinion. But if you're just starting out, powder contours are the easiest to use. But those you would use after you set all of your other makeup. You would do your contour powder last. Okay. Anyways, I'm going to do the other side of my face, and then I'll be right back. Alright, contour is now done, so next I'm going in with my concealer. We're going to be doing my under eye, over eye, and down here you'll see. Let's just jump into it. Okay, what we do here, go down, we go here, we go over here. Sorry, I have to use a mirror for that part, because if not, I will smear this shit all over my face. Okay. Some people do the whole less is more type shit. I personally was born and learned makeup in 2016, so I believe in doing the upside down triangle on the face because I feel like those are the points you should highlight in your face. That's just for me personally. I don't know about you, but it looks good on my face, so I love it. If you don't know what I mean by the upside down triangle, I will show you. So once you do this eye, it will be, hold on, how do you make a triangle? Like this. Got it? Upside down triangle. Okay, so after I do my eye concealer, I go through and I will set this with powder. I use a light shade, hold on. I use a light shade of the Maybelline Fit Me powder. That is the powder that I personally love. Go through and just whoop, 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 whoop. Remember, we're not setting the whole face, just the under eye and where you did your concealer. Now I'm gonna go through and do this eye and I'll be right back. Things I forgot to mention while I was doing this one, I do go up the sides of my nose, but I will not go on top. I leave, so my foundation that I use is shades darker than my concealer. Your concealer should be lighter than your foundation. And so that way it kind of gives my face a contour without me actually having to contour my nose. Contouring my nose is one of the things that I hate doing because for some reason for me, it always feels muddy and it just doesn't look right. So I personally, that's like my version of contouring. I will not actually use contour on my nose. I do it that way. I just bring my concealer up the sides and it just tends to make my nose look a little bit more snatched. So this is where you should be at. We are gonna go through and powder right there. Okay, so now we're gonna go through and powder the rest of the face. Okay, but this time I'm gonna go in with a darker shade of the Maybelline Fit Me powder. So to set my concealer, I use the number 10. To set the rest of my face, I'm gonna go in with the number 15. Okay, so this may not make much of a difference to anybody else, but to me it does because it keeps my darker spot, like the contour and stuff like that, darker. And like I know that if I were to go through with a lighter one, it would still have the same effect, but I feel like doing a darker powder on the darker areas just makes a little bit more sense. Because then I don't like to have to go back over top of my contour with like a powder contour, which I feel like I would have to do if I used the lighter color, which sometimes I will use a lighter color if like I'm pale or something, but I try to avoid doing that and try to use at least 2 different powders on my face, just because in my head it makes sense, so that's what I do. This next part, I don't know if I'm necessarily going to recommend. I use rubbing alcohol to take the makeup off of my lip from where I got foundation and concealer all over it. And when I tell you, I will use any form of cloth. I use socks, I use fucking hand towels, anything that I can get my grubby little hands on that's in hands distance, and I can pour alcohol onto it. I use it and it works great. Next we're gonna use blush. Okay, so you can't really tell, but this is an Ellen Tracy blush palette. I usually favor that one, but lately I've been into this baby pink, so I'm gonna go into that. And for some reason I've been really into using an angled brush for doing my blush. Oh my god, I can't talk. I do my blush higher and I do not bring it forward because it kind of makes it look a little old lady, okay? I just do my blush on the sides of my face, kind of. I mean, you can put your blush wherever you want. I personally like mine there. Alright, and finally we are going in with the e.l.f. Light Brown Lock On Liner and Brow Cream, and I'm going to use that in my eyebrows. I will be right back. I don't have time to show you. Alright, so this is where we're at. I am going to go through with my powder contour and just deepen up my contour on my cheeks a little bit. And maybe underneath. And hopefully I finish this before I run out of time. Okay, that's where we're at. We're gonna, ooh, I've got like 10 seconds. Anyways, if you followed along, if this helped you, I love you. That's amazing. Like, comment, share, do all the things, okay?